if he is ready, Fontem.
Sure, Bosante, Angu, Asongway, as a fumble, Yatama, Abalaboon Chung, a raffarable, Ntamase, Babu Pap, Jungle, Bobum Zambu, Pim Buktam Bombo Yatama, and was on Zabosumala, Abon Bunka, yeah. Nyatama, whoever talk, Boogie the bang, and Baba Fandam. What if I have someone, Jim Robbins, that's someone back? What if I'm good? The big bunko, what come a mean war? The Nigeria come like a Nigeria, Frencha, Beta Zimbabwe, come come. And a number of God, a Bomina Cap, a Fontem, a Tumba Young, a Chinkosa. But Ojaba Mwachome, Cambro Wagam, Fanazama, Moe, Bagungang Broke War, Alene, Gambro Wallene, above Aboko, Jitunguba, but you. Ebbing Boba Marco, at the mentor, Juan Contenasa. Esongwe ala azota agi ndiogo nyata maboburo Fontem sabatong atotumman kan ngubaga sa chonga chinu aba atam to yi afa esongwa boboburo anguboburo lang te jumba men viva moi anye de buon chuju moi ba kwi Bezote is a young preferred back. I show ye a boss of one land bush. And we will return and Zote Babakan Zotes are showing back. That will talk my womb, be my boy.
My dear brother and friend, Your Highnesses, notables, the CEO of Lecudo USA and your executive, the president of the Fontem movement here represented, distinguished guests who have honored our invitation to celebrate with us today, distinguished sons and daughters of our beloved Lecudo, ladies and gentlemen. To begin, let us all rise and observe a minute of silence for our fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, sons and daughters of our Fontem who have gone ahead of us regardless the cause of their death. May their souls and the souls of all faithfully departed find rest in the bosom of God Almighty. Amen. Your Majesty, dear guests, beloved Leban people, permit me use this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to my friend, brother, and colleague, His Majesty, the Fontem here present. Your Majesty, despite your health challenges, you have never failed to uphold the bond which binds our two Fontems together. You have always protected and promoted the interests of Leban Fontem, just like you do for your Fontem. This explains why, from time immemorial, our women and mothers have always sung in their songs that Fontem is sure Fontem. Thank you very much for being a very good friend and a brother. My dear Leban people, let me also use this opportunity to again welcome the president of our principal development partner, the Fontem movement, who is here represented. Madam President, successor of Fontem, on behalf of my people, I wish to reiterate our gratitude for the timely intervention of the folklore movement in our Fondo, which saved the lives of our forefathers and paved the way for the development of our Fondo, and by extension, our division, the BRF. I am a proud product of the development structures brought by Fontem because I was born in Mary Health of Africa. I was treated several times in the same hospital, and I am a proud ex-student of Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College, Fontem. This is just a little I can say about the movement regarding my personal life. Everyone else in this convention ground has a good story to tell concerning the impacts of the movement in their lives. Given that the folklore movement is part and parcel of our lives, I pray you, Madam President, not to forget or abandon us during this very difficult moment we are going through. Fortunately, my twin brother, His Majesty, the Fond of Conjumeto, as declared by Fontem in Conjumeto, is present here today and is collaborating my request. We are grateful for all what the movement has done for us, and like Oliver Twist, we continue to ask for more. Our motherland has suffered and is still suffering the effects of a socio-political crisis which has affected us, our development, our lifestyle, our values, and our heritage in ways which cannot be explained. Not dwelling on the crisis, I want to use this opportunity to hail the sons and daughters of Leban Fontem residing in the United States of America for the way you all have reacted so far. Individually and in groups, you people have sent a lot of support to our displaced people back home, and I am very much aware of all of these efforts. On my part, I have tried my little best to remain in contact with our displaced population. Through assistance gotten from some of you, I have been able to provide some basics to our people, as well as remain in contact with everyone directly and also indirectly through organizations such as Lecudo and its branches. I make bold to state today that crisis or no crisis, Leban remains one. We have been strong as one Leban, and we will forever remain strong as one Leban. I equally want to express my sincere gratitude to the past and current presidents of Lecudo USA and their executives for the work they have done to help our displaced and suffering people. I applaud in particular the past and present humanitarian efforts to support our IDPs. The Emwe Language Project, which puts us on the world stage. Protecting our natural resources, especially the Midmark forest, that I am personally overseeing the negotiations. Fundraising to rehabilitate and rebuild our Fondo. Investments in our children and youth as the future of Leban. Economic self-empowerment to sustain our IDPs, just to name this few. I also hail all duly registered and active members of Lecudo USA for the collaboration you have given your executive in order to lend a helping hand to our people. May the good good Lord and our ancestors bless you all abundantly. The suffering of our people were further compounded by the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. I would like to first of all thank God for keeping you and I safe from the claws of this deadly virus. Sadly, some of ours have died due to this illness. But thankfully, others have gone through it and are waxing strong today. While we pray for the eternal repose of the souls of our brothers and sisters who have died due to the coronavirus pandemic, we equally praise God for healing those of us who have suffered from this infection. It is no news that the pandemic really affected your host country, the United States, thus limiting your abilities and means through which you people sustained suffering masses back home. Yet, you people showed resilience. Because this stroke did not break the camel's back, I stand here today on behalf of all sons and daughters of Lebanon to express sincere gratitude to Lecudo USA as a body and to each and every one of you for your resilience and love for one another.
We have lost sound from His Royal Majesty, and the technical team is working on that.
When we come back today, we are holding both virtual and the United States, thus limiting your abilities and means through which you people sustain suffering masses back home. Yet, you people showed resilience. Because the stroke did not break the camel's back, I stand here today on behalf of all sons and daughters of Lebanon to express sincere gratitude to Lecudo USA as a body and to each and every one of you for your resilience and love for one another. For a noble to preserve our culture. As long as you have a drop of Lebanon blood running in your veins, it is your duty and responsibility to preserve our culture and its institutions. When the COVID-19 pandemic was at its peak, I remember vividly that you people held virtual conventions. Today, we are holding both virtual and in person. These efforts to hold our annual convention, whether virtually or in person, tells of one thing, that although you are miles or kilometers away from borderland, the love for our culture and development continue to dwell in your hearts. Loving our culture, our values, and our heritage is a very good thing, and I congratulate you all for it. But love alone is not enough. If we love something but do not preserve it, it will fade away. Permit me get inspiration from the third principle embodied in the naturalization oath of allegiance to the United States of America. which says, and I quote, support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. End of quote. Reflecting on this principle in the light of our culture, values, and heritage, I would say it is our collective responsibility to support and defend the culture, its institutions, values, and heritage of Leban Fontem against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We often make references to the prescriptions of our culture, our institutions, our values, and our heritage when we celebrate traditional marriages, when we cry and then celebrate our loved ones who have died, when we call on our ancestors for guidance, for protection, for inspiration, and for many other things which I have not named. Even when we speak our mother tongue and dance our traditional dances, it is our culture and our heritage we are making reference to. We make these references today because our forefathers did not only love our culture, they also preserved it and all its institutions so jealously, and then passed it on to us. My plea to you all today, and to all sons and daughters of Leban Fontem, is for us to awaken the will and desire to preserve so jealously our culture, institutions, our values, and our heritage. Today, we have very few people who can sing correctly our traditional songs. We have very few who can interpret the messages passed by the sound of a drum. Very few who can replicate correctly the dance steps of our fathers. Very few who can recount the histories and stories of old. Very few who can understand the institutions that incarnate our culture. Why I hail very strongly those of us who can still do the aforementions, I am strongly urging us all to take up the challenge to preserve these precious jewels of ours, which is envied by others. I say our culture is envied because the little which was showcased on the 9th of May 2014 on the arena of Azi Palace continues to make waves even as we speak today. I know you too can cite other aspects of our culture which we have showcased and which other people have spoken so elaborately about. Still talking about it today. Your Majesty, Your Highnesses, notables, ladies and gentlemen, I might have been wrong on this issue of cultural preservation, but I urge you to bear with me. What I've said is just a tip of the iceberg of what is boiling deep within my heart. My dear Leban people, let me bring to you this good news, which is a major breakthrough in the sphere of cultural preservation. My father, His Majesty Fontem some time ago gave the mandate to his son, His Royal Highness Chief to pursue our cultural artifacts which were looted away by the Germans. His Royal Highness immediately got to work. When I came to the throne and renewed this mandate, which was given to him by His Majesty Fontem. And equally, I integrated Her Royal Highness Mafongolife Dr. Diane Achamorfo and Nzinke Matema Songani, Dr. Atem George, into this project. I am happy to announce to you today that great progress has been made. More of our lost artifacts have been located. Some museums currently hosting our artifacts have responded positively to our requests, while others have even gone a step further to receive my special envoy, His Royal Highness Chief Otabobacheleke, whom I sent to inspect these artifacts. The Municipal Museum in Germany, for example, has actually issued a press release regarding our artifacts in their keeping. And I will be sending this press release to the CEO of Lecudo USA in both languages, German and in English. Anyone interested in reading the press release can contact the CEO. I will be sending the copy to the government, both home and abroad. I think that is good news and is good progress. My beloved Leban people, when we look at our neighbors of the grass field and we see their attachment to their culture and their cultural institutions, their values, I marvel. We can do it. We have done it. And I believe, I strongly believe, we will do it. I am very confident. It is with this confidence that I want to end my address today. It is with this confidence that I bring to you another level of reassurance and hope that all will be well. Lebanon has risen to crisis or challenges before, and these current challenges wouldn't be any different. My dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you today that we should keep whatever differences aside and uphold Lebanon. Let us put Lebanon first. All hands are needed on deck so that together, and I mean together, we can put Lebanon, we can make Lebanon a better place and a place to be. Lebanon has been described by non-indigents as the mirror through which the BLM sees its face. The challenge is therefore ours to uphold this mirror and retain this God-given position of ours. I am counting on each and every one of you. May God Almighty and our ancestors protect you all as you live far away from motherland. May our ancestors protect us all from the coronavirus pandemic. May our ancestors bless you all. Bless the works of your hands. Bless your families. And replenish all resources you have put together to finance and support our suffering and displaced population back home, as well as all finances and efforts you have put together to organize this convention. The Foleban, the Kemleban, the Mafuas, Mapa, Mamami, Nwashu, Mbunjwa Wocha, Mbonka Bole, Nyokanga, Washi Gashir, Alebuke, Bagay, Lebio, Tegimame, Shimu. Mbonka Kakusa, Kawo, Anima, Abo, and I tell I don't know sure. I don't never get a review, Tegimame, Shimu. Okay, then you have to say, I chalk Bokurio. And what you want from home, La Somalie, Nanan Yamishio, a telephone as a ring. You will come on. Et you over here, you want to be Jinju Paul, Bundri, Yellen Valley, and Angie Gwendolyn. Bon, the fair get that. Then, a blessing with you, over fair get that. I can't remember you go to Hobble. Then, a quality you go fair get that. My home utility, I will go back and work more. Mumbo, quite wide. Ye never fear, I let you. The Miss Muzza no one way, and with them, never see through the loop. And there, I'm why way she's my fair with your leg. I won't be a few wire very bad. Yeah. And they got through the woman back, can I go through? 2 hours, and improvements more. I don't so, or I don't get a studio. Then, we'll never, if you want. Yeah. Okay, but I'm never. Then you have to say, don't want to get your mother. She wants the war. That'll be every day. No, the bands, it won't be, you should do that. Okay, then you have to say, oh, I'm never. It's all I should go back. Yeah, I will go what I didn't. Then, you not deal with you, none of more back. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bebwa, and thank you all for your patience. We've been doing so well. We just have 3 things before we go for our lunch break. We're going to listen to our keynote speaker speak because technology is on point right now. And after that, we're going to get our representative, Ms. Walaplege, give us a word, and then we hear from the board. After that, we'll go for lunch. So, our keynote speaker is nobody but Mr. Leke, all the way from Cameroon, Achaleke, Christian. So let's listen to Mr. Achaleke speak. Thank you.
I'm alive now. Okay. Thank you very, very much for this opportunity. Nufajwa Omo, the India and the young person I follow online. Nufajwa Benkan for the Rose. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the organizers of this grand event. My name is Christian Achaleke, and I'm a son from Milan. And if my bio was presented, I'm a son from Gahale. My dad is from Gahale. And I must say it's a singular pleasure to have been invited to share my thoughts. The term keynote is a pretty big one, and sometimes it's frightful, especially when you are sharing your thoughts with elders, with senior people who have had experience and have seen things in different shades and colors. But I also accepted this opportunity because I felt it would be an avenue for me as a person to share my thoughts and to also give a little perspective of what Lecudo USA has been doing. Growing up as a young person, I'd always watched, seen videos and seen pictures and watched videos of the Lecudo Convention in the USA with a lot of admiration and respect. Because I believe that the movement has been able to do some of those very rare things, which is mobilizing people, which is being able to pass on our culture, our lifestyle, our beliefs, and many other things that makes us unique as people from the community. I want to celebrate them for their efforts. The last convention in 2019, I had the pleasure to be an observer during the gala night. I really enjoyed it. In the US, I spent time, I saw a lot happening, and I could see young people, younger than me, children who were seeing this culture. And I mean, usually it's easy for them to diverge from this. I think this is a strong one to celebrate. I listened to His Royal Highness very closely while he was speaking, and he made very clarion calls, which personally I find it a call to me as a person. I listened to the previous speaker who also talked about mobilizing resources and send resources and people's pockets. It's the truth, because in times of like this, where we find ourselves, it is very trying, very troubling. A lot is happening. People are frustrated. People are going through very difficult moments. I think my third reason why I found speaking at this grand event important is also because of the themes. Based on my line of work, based on my line of experience, these conversations are ones which I have practically for years been working within the space, developing ideas, developing programs, developing strategies to be able to respond to realities like what we are facing. And so the topic, which was around reconciliation, reconstruction, rehabilitation, are very personal to me as a person, because it has been the line of my work, working across different countries in the world, working in different conflict situations, and understanding how to develop responses. Responses which will do no harm, responses which will take us a step forward, responses which will take in consideration realities. And it's the more reason why when I had time to look at the work which Lecudo USA has been doing already, I was overjoyed because this is work coming from persons who are very busy, very tight schedule, but they were able to mobilize resources, and not only mobilize resources, but at the same time mobilize to be able to respond to core challenges that we are facing as a group of people. I am based in Cameroon, and as I said, the part of my work is we work with people in different regions who have moved not just Hello? Yes, so I was sharing my experience on the ground, meeting our own people who are going through different challenges. The big reality in which I think that the perspective which Lecudo USA has developed, which I took time to read, is very, very inspiring. I had the opportunity to speak with the CEO several times in companies. I had the opportunity to participate in different sessions organized by the Lecudo team, and I must say that it is so inspiring. But I want to take us to the conversation of reconciliation. I mean, these are buzzwords, these are words which sound so nice, but sincerely, from my experience, they are very technical, they are very sensitive, and we need to respond and engage in this conversation with a lot of tactics. And that is why my initial conversation with Lecudo USA was pledging my support around the design of strategies and design of programs, because that's being part of my and some of the projects which Lecudo USA has been reflecting to do are projects which are done already. They are projects we were supposed to be able to do for different communities. And I told myself, why not for our own community where we can be able to put us together to support what absolutely happened. I think that reconciliation is to start. As a young person, I used and there's a big issue in mentioning that. And reconciliation has to start from there. Right from the US, it's important that Lecudo in the US strives harder to ensure that the younger ones that are growing up today should be able to have stronger connection with the area. Very important because it gives opportunity for us to pass knowledge, pass culture, pass wealth. I think reconciliation has to start from there. Unfortunately, we have taken conflict back at home, and it's conflict which has put people at loggerhead, people hitting each other, growing hate, growing disinformation, and many others. But I feel reflecting on reconciliation is very important, and reconciliation will greatly come when you do initiatives which are very tangible. I came up with some of these ideas which Lecudo has been planning, which they have started already. The whole concept of the school, providing public classes, starting a community school. It's a very important one and a very strategic one, because that is what takes us to the conversation about reconstruction. Because reconstruction is not just about buildings, it's about buildings and roads and others, as well as people's minds, people's perspectives, people's mental health, and many others. And the interesting thing about this group of people we have in Lecudo in the USA are persons who have experienced different walks of life, from health, psychosocial support, and many others. This means that the resources to mobilize is not just about money, it's about your know-how, it's about your wisdom, it's about what you can offer away from money. Because no matter the amount of resources financially that we can mobilize, if our people do not think of how to bring in their technical know-how, their capacity, it will shoot us on the leg. Because we'll have issues of mismanagement, of issues of putting money in projects which we cannot deliver. So I feel that for us to think about rehabilitation, it's very important that in rehabilitation, we need to bring in this know-how that we know. I read with keen attention projects like the community school. I've had experience of setting up community school programs. I've had experience of working with UNICEF, Danish Refugee Council, and many other institutions to set up programs of that sort. I think this is capacity which will be great for us to share and work together. Because with a program of that sort, we are not just giving schooling to these children, we are giving them opportunity to heal from mental health and psychosocial issues. We are giving them opportunity to guarantee their return to normalcy as a person. And these are core issues around rehabilitation. I feel that we need to focus on this. I also read with keen attention the whole idea of healthcare. Healthcare is a very, very important component, especially in communities where we have war. It is rather unfortunate that Mary Health Foundation, which used to be the citadel of healthcare across communities, and beyond our boundaries, unfortunately, the crisis has been able to put us on our knee, making it impossible for us to be able to have access to healthcare. And that's why I applaud a lot, about what Lecudo in the USA actually reflected on working on healthcare. But I would like to also say that from my experience working around healthcare, supporting and mobilizing resources to support healthcare programs in conflict zones, there are things that we must really look at. It is important that we work around mobilizing provisions of equipment and others, which I'm already sure this is what's already happening, but we need to amplify that. We need to think about community healthcare system, where we need to be able to provide training for young people to be able to provide first aid healthcare to communities. It's rather unfortunate that most of our grandparents, most of our parents find themselves in bushes. Caves which used to be inhabited by wild animals today have been inhabited by our own people. these people in the bushes, these people in communities where healthcare is quite expensive, it's very important that community healthcare programs. I am sure that this is very possible because from our experience, we've been able to see situations where resources have been mobilized for such to happen. And I bet you it will be much more strategic, much more cost effective, and to be able to sustain already what's going down. The third thing which I in your strategic plan and action which you'll be doing is the whole component of vocational and entrepreneurship training for women and young people and other people who have been displaced by the conflict. Some months ago, I had the opportunity to be received by the Sword Fund of Finland. And in our conversation, we're talking about how to support persons who have been displaced. And speaking with him and many other traditional rulers that I've met across the West region, which is closer to our region, I think it is possible for us to mobilize land at very low or no cost for our people to be able to farm. It is important that we support them in this, because continuously many of them are suffering from stigmatization, many of them are suffering from hate, many of them are suffering from exploitation in communities where they find themselves in. It will be very critical that we will reflect on how to be able to support them, not just by giving capital, which is very important, by seeing how we could be able to lobby for communities to be able to treat our people fairly. It is very important. Because I always have this saying, 0 times 1,000 is 0. If our people do not feel secure and safe in communities where they find themselves, and their mental health situation is upright, no matter the amount of investment we make, we might be doomed to face big challenges in seeing the outcomes of this. I also want to applaud the whole component of working on a micro credit scheme. It's a very important model because it gives opportunity for impact on development, which are easy to be tapped into. Because, our women and children and young people who have been displaced, many of them, we can testify that based on how our social construct of our communities were, they were living with the skills which were necessary for the localities where they found themselves. But today they find themselves in Cham, some and other places. It is important that we work around skills transformation. I've had the opportunity to work with the GIZ as a consultant in working around vocational skills which is transformative. I think that we can develop programs to provide them training on basic, handwork, on sewing and many others, production of cake, production of pastries and many others. There are women and men from our communities based in Cameroon who have this expertise. I feel that we can be able to mobilize them. In mobilizing them, it will help us to also cut down spending and also ensure that there will be a peer-to-peer engagement between people of the same communities. Every day in Cameroon, I get to meet a young Bangla person or an old Bangla person who's dynamic, very inspiring. But unfortunately, sometimes they do not have the opportunity to share what they have. For years, I've worked and traveled across the world. I've never had the opportunity to engage this effectively. And I want to be thankful for our elders, for those leading this movement, for identifying me as a young person. And I feel that this will provide opportunities for many other people who have something to contribute, who might not be limited to conversations, but they have the love for our people and they keep the realities every day. I want to speak to God. But I want to end my conversation with a recommendation and a call to our people. I would like to say that this is the time for us to work together. It is very important that it should not be a conversation only from Lecudo America or Lecudo USA, Lecudo wheresoever. I think the ideas that you develop are very important. It is necessary that every other Lecudo movement across the world rally behind what you are doing. Because this is the message that we need to send across. Together, just like His Royal Highness said, we'll be stronger to be able to respond to the need of our people. It is also very important that we look at resource mobilization beyond just cash and money. Let's focus on resource mobilization coming to our skill and competencies. I have had the opportunity to stay in the US and work. I have been very impressed at how skillful our people are, leading in conversations that it's rare to find people. I feel that these are the kind of things that we need to give back to our people at the same time while we are mobilizing financial and other kind of resources. It is important that we pass this on. I will also want to highlight the importance of holding hands for us to climb the ladder together. It's rather unfortunate that sometimes when opportunities come, our own people cannot get it. But I think this is the time for us to change, provide opportunities for people to transfer their skills and hold others and opportunities. I think this is something that we should consider immensely. I also want to highlight a commitment. I would like to state that as a person and with institutions that I work for and my capacity around research, mobilizing resources, developing programs and others, I would like to commit that I will serve Lecudo USA with as more time that we have with report and results if the effectiveness from this project are achieved. I would also like to say that there are other stakeholders nationally that have interest in supporting the kind of work that we do and the kind of work that we're reflecting to do as Lecudo USA. I think we are going to continue from this with activities to be able to mobilize these persons, speak with them, engage in communications and audiences to see how we can be able to mobilize these resources and support locally. It is very, very important. I want to thank the organizers for this meeting, to thank the Lecudo movement. I've had the opportunity to engage several times in meetings. I feel so inspired, I feel so overjoyed that generational gap is being reduced so that young people
will listen to him. So if you have any question for him.
We have a hand raised on Zoom.
Okay. Okay, oh, it's like the hand on Zoom we can't connect to. Is there anybody in the hall? Okay. Any question, any comment for Mr. Chaleke? Don't tell me you didn't understand all the good stuff he said. No comment? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I hope Mr. Chaleke is live. I think he brought a very salient point with concerning health and mental health included into the reconstruction project. So I would like for him to kind of pinpoint on exactly how that can be tackled, because it could be quite multifaceted. So give us more direction how Lecudo USA can tackle the mental health portion of the reconstruction project. Thank you.
Is Mr. Chaleke online? Okay, it seems like he's muted right now. He might answer us and we're going to put his response in the forum. If there is no other question or comment, Any contribution, please? Okay.
The theme of this convention was reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction of Lebanon. He has made mention of a review of what the ESCO is doing. As the fund stated, our culture has totally gone down. When we are talking of reconciliation and rehabilitation, we must go also in the dimension of the culture. We cannot only be talking of the health. Culture is an important aspect, and we're gathering here because of culture. The fund also mentioned that we should reawaken the will and desire to preserve our culture, values, heritage, and institution. One of the messages I will call on Lecudo USA to do is that our culture doesn't sustain this again. Some new chiefs were made, and they went against the rule, the heritage, the institution of the chieftaincy in Lebanon. You start seeing people crowning women as Nkem, which is totally falsehood in the culture of Lebanon. They don't know the institution. So we must rehabilitate this culture if we want Lebanon to move forward. You don't go and crown women as Nkem, which is out of the culture that our forefathers have inherited and transferred. And most of these people are the new chiefs that were made. We have to make sure the Lecudo USA work in hand with the fund to make sure such women are named Nkem can be transferred to Mafo and let the Nkem institution be reserved for what our culture upheld. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fobele, for your remark. You still have something?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. One minute, please. We need to move forward. Thank you.
Yeah, all protocols duly observed. I just want to emphasize on the culture. You must have noticed that when I came here, when His Royal Majesty was coming in, I talked about Kaja. Very few people knew and even know how to sing. That is where our problem lies. My humble suggestion is very simple. When I was young, when there is a kind of an incline that they want to crown you, either Mbe or Nkem, they would spend some time to train you about the culture. So my humble appeal is that no chief here is bigger than culture. I expect that if you have made the culture in any capacity, my humble appeal is very simple. Learn the tradition. It is learning the tradition that will make us where we are. People without tradition has no focus. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. With that, we round up on the keynote of speaking the 100%. Okay.
Thank you very much. I want to go to the fund's address. The fund did mention about the mid-mark, and I want to give my humble suggestion that we should know that in mid-mark, there's a lot of eyes on mid-mark, and that mid-mark is a mark to the Lebanon people. If I tell you the story that's going behind, you will not believe what is going on. If the fund was not in Yaoundé, something could have been happening that we don't know. And I don't want to appeal that if the Lecudo USA can create a committee to work with the fund, let's see what we can do to preserve mid-mark. We may be surprised one day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You have something to say? Okay. You want to say something?
With all due respect to all the elders, the chiefs, and everybody, I'm speaking on behalf of the younger adults and some of us that have not really had the opportunity to learn the Bangla tradition, and are very, very interested in knowing where we come from and everything. Growing up, the only thing I remember is my parents getting a teacher to teach us Bangla and all of that. I was in the kitchen there and somebody was saying how we had to respond to the fund, to the chief when he comes around. I feel like we don't have enough resources, some of us that have not had the opportunity to, spend some time in the village. it will be great to incorporate something, you know, to help us understand what is expected of us and how to do these things. Thank you.
Please clap for her. I am with her on that. Some of us don't know anything about the culture, the young and the strangers. You want to say something, sir, if you don't mind? Okay, after Mr. Leke, the CEO, and that's it, please. We need to move forward.
Bon, comme tu es Canada, je ne sais pas culture, but culture is a fundamental instrument of development in any society, whether here or at home. Even custodians, because a lot is being said which is not the way it used to be. Even before is the social media, but on the internet. And we have one pen. Our woman de la go, legate, but some maggie, and was the what's an amount internet. But that is a song like a member. In my won't be that we not send them over form about come. Go legate like Gobina man, song been continent and them can gain good at some early. Top up, we will give the game number because right now we are all confused. What my sister said there is true, and we are all confused because we are doing everything wrong, following what we are reading on books. And if we don't know that Lecudo, just 1 second, madam. Lecudo bang initial, le BLM, buff, woman become, bosom won't go le BLM, bogong boss or tan, roll and over, le bang but two, culture. Women tend to get like then development. Book once one cap, in once and the Lecudo, Belen Tong the Banks and Tom and Cap, culture of question of war. In the Lungu Lecudo. Lebang, Belen says so many men come down one ball like Binam ball and cover a coach or man poo, I let it so, then they can go to your war.
Thank you so much.
Bonjour, Andia. Can I respond and bo mbebu? Anya no bid mark. Allegedly, Lecudo USA, both fund, both work very closely. But as Sedmo committee, it's just that because we live on go on the ground, because NGO ye alina apply for forest thing. But at the only go in the open, but so committee is in place. If we go maybe meetings, so can I clarify something that is being handled. But I know culture also. I think we are not just focusing on development. We are your convention, but casual, but on an entire day for the culture. So I think we are prioritizing both. But the other thing, Ali, we have some actions that we're going to present. Ali Chiwole will be working on culture too, Kongte.
I just want to, there's a little interlude right here. There's a cultural, His Royal Majesty is about to leave and wants to see His Highness Foncheta, the CEO of Lecudo USA and the CEO of Lecudo DC. I need the three of you to just come to His Royal Majesty, and then after that he will leave, and then Antimata will continue with.
Yes. Should I use? Afterwards. Yes, it's an order. And somewhere to be pharmacopies and Bobo and Carbon Flower. Master Congolese, the president of Lecudo USA. Affectiva. I le gars mon quoi. Moi so she wa full whatever. I mean tell the fam bam you so was the ball you know. That's right. Good as a fire much of fun to my last. Small speech you can some guys call him honorably. Being first on the DJ. All of the Lecudo USA. You people are in front. You are the flag bearers, and we should succeed in that unity function. So I want to see the Lord Mayor of DC. That is the president of Lecudo DC branch. I think you two, you have that honor. You have a copy of this. And the new one. We look more for what the long way up. And I don't want to say, but someone let them for you, Your Royal Highness. You want someone who's sure. Oh, actually, what? Them yellow go give up on the fact. But them ye, I like a middle go and do short them. Give me the certain. At the certain one, but we can't someone go, oh, come to ye. If we come to go, we will be very happy. Look at the artifacts, the one Alabama, but one go, if you know. Because I'm coming to no home fact. Make trip there. Even you are from over. I got to know 2 more years. Mako kontawo ale atombo kendela ko ke someone no nga can wear a good and bad message we saw the good one nga we plan go wake up my project the other one I was using come as a ball nga we folk to talk we go go gala na we go for $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 more.
Gib mir die Tür. Nur die Tür.
Thank you all so much, and we're learning every day, and we're seeing very beautiful culture going on. I'm going to, please, if we can have our seats. I know it's been a long day, and I applaud everybody here for their patience. I'm going to call on our own Lady Kate Nze to introduce to us our Prince George's County District representative that is here. Lady Kate will introduce to us Miss Wala Blege, please. Thank you.
Hello, I'm not Lady Kate. I'm going to say a bit before she comes. Okay, is that okay? Right. My name is Gile, and I would like to first observe all protocols. Royal Majesties who have gone, Royal Majesties who are here, elders, and people, executive members of the Lekunda community. I greet you. I'm a Sierra Leonean, and today I'm here to tell you why I, a Sierra Leonean, will be standing in this Cameroonian community, this distinguished Cameroonian community, representing and supporting a Liberian-Nigerian candidate. This lady is standing for District 6. I have known her for over 10 years at a distance. But as I got closer, I understood why she kept coming in front of me. She has a tenacity that speaks for us. And as an African here in the United States, they say in Rome, you do as the Romans do. You don't just do as the Romans do, but you understand their culture and blend in and be able to advocate for your people. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to tell you that my candidate, Ms. Wala Blagay, who is for District 6, which covers District Heights, Beech Tree, Upper Marlboro, Fairwood, Capitol Heights, Kettering, Largo, some of who we know people who live there, some of us live there. Elections are next year. But she can only represent you if she takes the time to understand your culture and understand your issues, and then she can be able to speak to it. And with that,
And my dad is Lewar, so it's such an honor to be here today to introduce Wala, who's running for council member of District 6, and you're all in her district. So when she called me that she was invited to this event, it immediately just gave me so much excitement, not only because she's an African, she's a woman, and knowing what went on in our last elections, we saw the force of women, what women did to get us, the vote. Very, very powerful. So it is important that we really support our own. I say she's our own because she's also best friends with one of our daughters, Beko Foletia, whom if she was in the country right now, she'll be standing next to her. And Beko's dad was one of the founding fathers of Lecudo USA. So it's a proud moment, and Beko's mother is right there. So, and her father happens to be my cousin, late John Foletia Ngwason. So may his soul rest in peace. Amen. So I stand here because I have brought one of your daughters to speak with you and to seek your support. If you live in Prince George's County, or you know someone who lives in Prince George's County, District 6, which covers Upper Marlboro, part of Largo, over here, this is her district. Please, you will learn her name. So when you see her name on the ballot, please vote for Wala Blagay because she's powerful. She is going to represent us very well. And that's what she's been doing. She's very young. We just celebrated her 37th birthday. So we have to support our children, that what we did not do, that they get to do it. Okay, so that's where we're moving. So a brief introduction. Wala Blagay has been a Prince George's County resident for over 20 years and is an advocate for, and she's fought for civil rights, women's rights, and workers' rights. She's currently counsel for the DC Nurses Association. If you're a nurse in here and you work in the District of Columbia, she represents nurses in the district. She's also the CEO of Masser Consulting, the People's Advocate talk show, which she's hosting right here in Prince George's County. It's a TV show which provides free legal advice to residents of Prince George's County. So if you have a legal problem, check into her show and get free advice. We know that lawyers charge a lot of fees, so you want to start there. So please, let me bring on Wala Blege. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you.
Thank you, Lady Kate. Thank you all. I just want to thank you all. Greetings to the Lecudo members. Greetings to our Royal Highness, the Fawn. Greetings to the High Table. Greetings to everyone here. Thank you for having me. I am your daughter. My name is Wala Blege, and I'm running for Prince George's County Council District 6, which we are in right now. My family is from Liberia and Nigeria, but we are all brothers and sisters. We are all brothers and sisters. And we've all come here for better opportunity. I applaud you for giving back to those displaced at home, because that is what it's all about. While we're here, we need to continue to give back. But what I want to talk about is that while we're here, we need to make sure that we have a seat at the table at the place that we are. Right now, many of you all came to the United States for opportunity. And many of you all said, and I know many of you, I'm looking at you all now, said, I'll be here for a couple years and I'm going home. But that didn't happen. It was 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you're still here. You know, Mr. Nguas, I remember he even said he was going back home at one point. Well, he passed, and God rest his soul, and he was a great mentor to me. But his daughters are here. Bako lives here, his daughters are here, his son is here. This is the place that many of your children will grow up. But yet and still, we don't have a representative on the state level. We barely have a representative in Congress. We don't have a representative in the council level. All throughout, even the state of Maryland, the numbers of Africans in this state is high, but we don't have a representative. We're paying taxes on our homes. We're giving our taxes, everything that we give back. Do you know each council member gets $100,000 each year to give back to nonprofits and organizations? But we don't get that. Because we're not engaged, because we don't have someone at the table. Right now, I was an advocate, and I'm an attorney. I'm counsel for the Nurses Association, but I'm also an advocate on various issues, especially with our community. Because on my father's name, my father said that you're here, you have to give back to your community. So when we needed, Liberians were being were facing deportation, even Cameroonians under the TPS program, DED program, facing deportation. And many a times now, many of the groups are going to other organizations to get support, legal support. And right now, you even have a council member advocating that Latino community lawyers will get support so that they can give free legal support to those in their community. What about our community? What about the things that we want to do for our community? Right now, many of you are raising money to give back home. We have people that are coming into this country. We need programs for them to assimilate into this culture. We need to make sure that our education impacts our people, that when our people get into the education system, that there's something to support them. We need community senators for our groups, for our people. But yet and still, we don't have it. So I'm running because we need a seat at the table. Africans are in this country. We are numerous in this country. We have the numbers, but we do not have the power that we should. In fact, when we were looking at TPS, many of our groups, Liberians, Cameroonians, we all went to Congress scrambling, looking for a supporter. Who's gonna be our supporter? And we have Karen Bass, and I went to Congressman Steny Hoyer. But the best thing is to go to our own people and to say, look, you're one of us, you know how important this is. Get a bill passed that makes sure that our people have a pathway to citizenship. So it's time that we get a seat at the table. I want to give you my background. I did grow up in Washington, D.C., but I've been a lawyer and an advocate for many years. My show, Chat with the Lawyer, I put it forth because many in our community did not know what their rights were as residents in the United States, and we didn't have that. But we put together a program that we could connect people with lawyers. I made sure that when we had people that were facing deportation, we went to Congress and made sure that a bill was passed through the spending bill that created a pathway to citizenships. So I have been advocating with results, and I can be that for you. So I ask for your support for Wala Blege for County Council for District 6. just for those that didn't hear me, I just want to reiterate, I am an advocate. I've been in the community for many years working on behalf of our people. We are brothers and sisters. We are a community. While we're raising money for home, we need to have power where we are. We have the power, we have the numbers. It's time for us to get a seat at the table. No more do we have to say, how are we gonna do? We should have people in every area of government, from county council to state level to governor, to everything. We deserve that because we work hard. So I ask for you today for your support. Walla Blagay for County Council District 6. Tell your friends. If you live in Prince George's County, I will be here. We'll give you some more information about myself, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wale. We would have loved to hear more, but we are so tight with the program. But people don't want to talk to her. You can meet her outside and go ask more information. That's
Can you just briefly explain to our audience about the Bang health topic that is coming on with Gaza Media?
Yes. So about the health topics, this will be free monthly topics to pick, like, diabetes or hypertension, and we'll break it down for our people so that they can understand how to care for themselves, how to be able to recognize these diseases, because a lot of times you don't know that what you have, then you cannot help yourself or treat yourself. And also, I'll just give some words of wisdom on how to manage it. There's medications, there's also things that you can do to help yourself. So this is an exciting time for us. This is free from all of the health professionals within the Lecudo or the bank community. We have come together to help our people, to kind of give back to our people, because they don't have access always to having medical advice. So this will be a forum for us to be able to put this out there for people. You can watch it later. These are going to be recorded. You can watch it later. Reach out to us if you have more questions, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Yeah, here we have the former CEO of Lecudo USA, and he actually came late, but was actually recognized. How do you feel when you were actually recognized while everybody was sitting?
It's always a pleasure to be a member of the community that I plan. I'm always a servant. So to be recognized for putting is flat. I think it also sends a message to the future leaders of the Lecudo or any of our communities in the US. That community work is good. It's self-gratifying. You are contributing to the society. And it's something that everyone wants to do. More to that is given the fact that we are here home from home. And we have to very much protect our culture from disappearing. It is important that we take, and every son and daughter of the man take an active role in making sure that the bank history, culture, and identity remains intact.
Looking at the way the Lecudo is being run now compared to when you were in the office, how is it comparatively?
I mean, every leader has his own style, agenda. You cannot compare what my own ideas and views on development with the next person. But the most important thing is being support. Former leaders are coming forward to support the current leadership, contributing positively, and giving suggestions when needed. So the current leadership is doing their best, given the circumstances. The civil war going on in Cameroon has completely devastated the bank. Son and daughter of the bank have absolutely no identity in Cameroon. And I'm very, very happy that Lecudo USA has taken its time to make sure that these people are helped, they are protected, even though we are not on the ground to fight the war. spending resources to make sure our people do not die in vain. I applaud their effort in managing this crisis.
There was one last thing that I wanted to ask you. I know this is your attention when you were in the office. You actually rehabilitate one of the biggest hospitals. Apart from Afra Maryhead of Africa, that was the hospital at Azi. You rehabilitated that hospital until the point that it was unbelievable. Looking at the project that they have now, where they want to rehabilitate some health center, what advice can you give to the committee that is heading that project?
I mean, number one, we have to know that when we talk about development, and I will quote late Professor Boyd, he said, human development is the most essential kind of development any institution or organization can undertake. Given that fact, given the location of where we have come, now, especially now that we have women in forest delivering babies, immunization that will grow up through, because right now, polio, the HRM vaccines, none of us have been here. I mean, by the time that I was born, human mortality and everything in the back was about 90%. Thank God for the contrary, all the vaccination that we took, by the time that hospital had a people to rehabilitate, the infant mortality come down drastically. And you may want also to know, when we bought an ultrasound for Azi Hospital, for the first time, a woman was told that she had twins, 3 months to the pregnant, and they have that picture in my heart. So I will feel on my heart if they can make sure that not only do we rehabilitate the health center, we also have to start community schools in heavily populated areas in the back, like Congo, like Libya, like Tonga, where our people are living, because our children are being left uneducated. We cannot wait for the world to stop before we start it. So starting community educational project is a must. I was very, very gratified that the CEO of Lecudo USA had made a gesture and offered financial donation in support of this project. So it is one thing that we have to start doing in the bank and rehabilitate those hospitals so that we have safe delivery. Our women are dying in the bushes, mothers are dying in the bushes. They shouldn't be happening.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time to talking to Gaza Media.
You are very welcome.
Yeah.